Good afternoon, sir. Could you please state your name and provide your date of birth?
Yes, my name is Larry Schnorr.
Thank you, Mr. Schnorr. Sir, you're here on a Superior Court new case. I find probable cause for the allegation of one count of aggravated assault of an officer. That's a Class 4 felony. I've appointed you an attorney. You have a status conference August 22nd, 8:31 a.m. Preliminary hearing August 26th, 8:31 a.m. Mr. Schnorr, I'm setting bond the amount of $2,500. That is a secured appearance bond. You can pay that directly or work with a bail bonding company. They generally require 10% plus collateral. That would be $250. If you pay your bond, you will be released. You're then promising to go to court on all of your court dates. You'll see pretrial services for supervision, and you must comply with the standard conditions and restrictions of release. In addition, you're not to initiate contact with any alleged victims, complainants, or witnesses, or have any physical contact with any alleged victims. You're not to possess any weapons. You must submit to DNA and fingerprinting at the arresting police department as well. Mr. Schnorr, do you have any questions?
No, sir.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, sir.
Nicholas Ayala and then Kelsey Hicks will be on deck. Good afternoon, sir. Could you please state your name and provide your date of birth?
Nicholas Ray Ayala.
Thank you, Mr. Ayala. Sir, you're here on a Superior Court probation violation warrant for alleged violations of terms 3, 9, 15, 16, and 17. I've appointed you an attorney. You have a probation hearing scheduled August 23rd, 8:30 a.m. at the downtown Phoenix Superior Courthouse. I am affirming the bond, the amount of $2,500. It's a secured appearance bond, meaning you can pay that directly or work with a bail bonding company. They generally require 10% plus collateral. 10% of $2,500 would be $250. If you pay your bond, you'll be released. You're then promising to go to court on all of your court dates. You're also promising to comply with the standard conditions and restrictions of release. Plus, you're not to possess any weapons. You're not to possess or consume any alcohol. You must submit to fingerprinting at the arresting police department, and you must contact your probation officer within 72 hours of release. Mr. Ayala, do you have any questions?
Yes, I could pay this right now. Like when say I can get my stuff and I could cause I got my credit cards and my bank card and my stuff.
So you won't be able to access that. You can contact a friend or family member. They can come down here and you can turn those over to a friend or family member, and then they can pay the bond for you.
All right.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Ayala.
Thank you.
Kelsey Hicks, and then Tolani Sosi will be on deck. Good afternoon, sir. Could you please state your name and provide your date of birth?
Good afternoon. My name is Kelsey Hicks, 10.
Thank you, Mr. Hicks. Mr. Hicks, you're here on a Goodyear Municipal Court warrant, charged with one count of criminal trespass in the first degree, a Class 1 misdemeanor. You'll have an attorney appointed for limited representation regarding the bond issue only. You have an arraignment hearing at the Goodyear Municipal Courthouse, August 21st, 8:30 a.m. Mr. Hicks, I have set bond amount of $500. It appears that has already been paid.
Yes.
Mr. Gowdy, are you seeing that there's already a $500 bond?
I do have the receipts.
I don't see it as paid on his booking card. I'd have to open up the computer and look. Would you like to check?
No, that's okay. I mean, I'm seeing it here. It looks like it's for this exact case. So anyway, so you should be able to be released in about 4 to 6 hours then if that's already been paid. You're promising to go to court on the 21st, promising to comply with the standard conditions and restrictions of release, plus you're not to return to the scene of the alleged crime. Mr. Hicks, do you have any questions?
Just more of a comment, if you will. Just let the record show that last year was very hard for me. I've now managed to find myself a job. I'm a foreman for my company. I have about 8 people underneath my wing, so I'm making the steps, and this is definitely something I want to resolve and put behind me.
Okay. No, I'm glad to hear that, Mr. Hicks. I'm glad you're making those good steps, and I won't be the judge in your main case, so you can also let the Goodyear judge know that as well.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Hicks. Good luck to you.
Thank you. God bless you.
Talani Sosi and then Richard Garcia Smiley will be on deck. Good afternoon, sir. Could you please state your name and provide your date of birth?
Talani Sosi.
Thank you, Mr. Sosi. Mr. Sosi, you're here on a Superior Court failure to appear warrant. We have a status conference August 27th, 8:30 a.m. at the downtown Phoenix Superior Courthouse. I'm affirming bond amount of $500. It's a secured appearance bond. meaning that you can pay that directly or work with a bail bonding company. It's less than $1,000. Some companies may not work with that number. I believe there are some that will. I don't know what their terms would be, but if you pay that bond, then you're promising to go to court on all of your court dates, and you're promising to comply with the standard conditions and restrictions of release. In addition, you're not to return to the scene of the alleged crime, you're not to possess any weapons, and you must submit to fingerprinting at the arresting police department. Mr. Sosi, do you have any questions?
No.
All right, thank you, sir. Good luck to you. All right, Richard Garcia Smiley, and then Alan Cornelius will be on deck. Good afternoon, sir. Could you please state your name and provide your date of birth?
Richard Garcia Smiley.
Thank you, Mr. Smiley. Garcia Smiley. Sir, you're here on a Superior Court probation violation warrant for alleged violations of terms 3, 4, 5, and 15. I've appointed you an attorney. You have a probation hearing August 23rd, 8:30 a.m. at the downtown Phoenix Superior Courthouse. I am affirming bond in the amount of $750. It's a secured appearance bond, meaning you can pay that directly or work with a bail bonding company. Because the amount's less than $1,000, some companies may not work with that number, but I believe that there are some that will. If you pay your bond, you'll be released. You're then promising to go to court on all of your court dates. You're also promising to comply with the standard conditions and restrictions of release. In addition, you're not to possess any weapons, you're not to possess or consume any alcohol, and you must contact your probation officer within 72 hours of release. Mr. Garcia Smiley, do you have any questions? All right, thank you, sir. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Alan Cornelius, and then Carlos Ramirez will be on deck. Good afternoon, sir. Could you please state your name and provide your date of birth?
Alan Roy Cornelius.
Thank you, Mr. Cornelius. Mr. Cornelius, you're here on a Superior Court probation violation warrant for alleged violations of terms 3 and 5. I've appointed you an attorney. You have a probation hearing August 23rd, 8:30 a.m. at the downtown Phoenix Superior Courthouse. I'm affirming bond in the amount of $250. That's a secured appearance bond. Technically, you can work with a bail bonding company. However, the amount's so low, I don't think any will work with that number, but I may be mistaken. Either way, if you pay your bond, you'll be released. You're then promising to go to court on all of your court dates and promising to comply with the standard conditions and restrictions of release. Plus, you're not to possess any weapons, you're not to possess or consume any alcohol, and you must contact your probation officer within 72 hours of release. Mr. Cornelius, do you have any questions?
Yeah, I think I'm getting shanghaied on this because the probation officer that was my previous probation officer that I didn't meet yet was at a canal bank trying to buy drugs from me, and I don't sell drugs. I'm an old man. I'm 75 years old, standing out there. That was number one. Number two didn't take care of me, and number three didn't do anything for me when I went down there. I did go down to the probation officer, and I told them I was staying out on where I was every night, and I had problems because I went to the hospital twice. And yeah, I think I'm getting shanghaied. I'm 75 years old. What do they want to do? Take the rest of my life from me? I need to get released. And your people that work for you were trying to sell me drugs. And she got fired for it just before this. And she was trying to sell it to me at a place, and I don't believe I just don't believe I'm getting a fair shake or anything on this. Don't I gotta say, you can sleep at night. I had to sleep out there on the desert for months and years. Why am I wasting the rest of my life in this jail for something I didn't do?
Well, Mr. Cornelius, and you went in on July 30th. They told you what you needed to do to comply, and you refused, and it says you were argumentative with them. Here's the situation, Mr. Cornelius. Let me just explain this. Look, I understand you don't want to do probation. I understand you may not think it's ridiculous, and you think that the terms are lousy. I understand all of that. But if you don't do it the only outcome is that you get arrested and you have to come
I
here.
did do it. I was at the corner every place. I always stayed on the corner of McClintock, and that's what she told me to do. I did call in. I did tell her my phone, I can't charge it sometimes. I did everything they wanted me to do.
Okay.
And I did it. I've been here in Arizona my whole life. I'm not a jerk, and you guys are screwing with me.
Okay. Mr.
That's
Cornelius.
all I gotta say.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Cornelius. Good luck to you.
Sorry to talk to you like that.
Carlos Ramirez and then Caleb Navaez will be on deck. Afternoon, sir. Could you please state your name and provide your date of birth?
Carlos Flores, Jr.
All right, thank you, Mr. Flores. Mr. Flores, you're here on a Superior Court new case. I find probable cause for the allegations, one count of possession or use of a weapon in a drug offense, and one count of possession or use of narcotic drugs. Those are both Class 4 felonies. One count of possession or use of drug paraphernalia, Class 6 felony. One count of carrying a deadly weapon, failure to admit, a Class 1 misdemeanor. One count of reckless driving, a Class 2 misdemeanor. One count of possession of an open container of liquor in a vehicle, a Class 2 misdemeanor. I've appointed you an attorney. You have a status conference September 3rd, 8:31 a.m. Preliminary hearing September 5th, 8:31 a.m. at the downtown Phoenix Superior Courthouse. Mr. Ramirez, I'm going to release you on your own recognizance. That means you are going to leave here in about 4 hours to 6 hours from now. Because you're being released, you are promising to go to court on all of your court dates. You're also promising to comply with the standard conditions and restrictions of release. In addition, you are not to possess any weapons. You're also not to possess or consume any alcohol. Mr. Ramirez, do you have any questions?
Yeah, I have a couple questions. This is my first time getting in trouble. Where am I going to be hanging out for the next 4 to 6 hours?
So you'll be here. They're processing you to be released.
Just like back over there?
Correct.
Okay. Also, is there any way, like, in the future I can get my my rights to, like, carry in the future, or?
Well, yeah, you're not convicted at this point, and so this is just my order. If you're convicted of a felony, then you would become a prohibited possessor. But I'm ordering you not to possess any weapons because I'm concerned with the safety of the officers, that you didn't admit that you were carrying a deadly weapon.
Yeah, I honestly just thought, like, they were going to start pointing guns at me, so I was really just scared, to be honest.
And that may be the case, but understand that I've got to watch out for the officer's
right.
safety, and so that's why I'm ordering that.
That's
So a
understandable.
judge in the future could change that, or like I said, it's also possible, I mean, if you're not convicted of a felony, then you would be able to possess firearms.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions?
No.
All right, thank you, sir.